All right, here's the BiNgUs Brain podcast starring Robo and Smokey. Here are your hosts.
Yeah.
Yo,
So
and
basically,
Boeing.
and Boeing, but he's not here because we kicked him because he sucks.
Oh, right, yeah.
So we're gonna start off by just going through the CGL teams right now in T3 and ranking them.
Yeah.
So at number 13, we have Hypnos. There's no one to look out for. They're kind of bad.
Yeah,
They
they're
blacklisted
terrible.
us 3 times in 1 week. We scrimmed them 3 times in 1 week. They blacklisted us each, and us the next day. All right.
Yeah, we 5-0'd them every single time. Like,
Yeah,
it was
we got
unfair.
toxic. Really mad. All right, number 12, we have Outlawed Barons. Their
the,
roster,
the meme team that was supposed to replace us.
yeah, they're not very good either. Only
Wait,
person on their
doesn't
roster that's like somewhat
doesn't
notable. Yeah, you got
doesn't Barons have like bumps?
no. Bumps is just the manager. He doesn't play
Why?
because he plays on the Aces.
Oh, right, I forgot.
Yeah, only like notable person on their roster is they have Twinkie, but
Yeah,
like
Twinkie's pretty
he's
good,
not. Twinkie is good, but like I've only seen him be good in T2. He
but he
might just
also
get in
his
T2.
major downfall is he just never talks. Like that's a big thing with him, and it just makes it hard because then he also doesn't listen ever. Like whenever I play with him,
And
he
he
just
plays
never
fine.
listens to me.
Yeah. All right. For number 11, we have Frost. I'm pretty sure Free Magician is pretty good. You could watch them.
Yeah,
Otherwise, roster's pretty forgettable. All right.
very.
Number 10, we have One Tart Long. They have a good coach. They just need to be more organized. All right.
Yeah,
They're just very lost right now. They play like they just picked up the role.
yeah. Like they all like signed up like last minute, and then just never played together before that game.
My producer is telling me Free Magician is ass. It's actually King of Fire who's good. Watch
Oh,
it for
okay.
him. So yeah, these are kind of the Met teams. We don't actually know anything. All right,
Yeah, they're
number
all
9,
bad.
we have Lion Strike. Now this is pretty interesting because I was surprised that they're not that good because I heard
Yeah.
that they were harboring Smurfs. So it's just
Oh
kind of
yeah.
weird. You expect the cheating team to be slightly higher on the list, but
Exactly.
um, I
They're,
guess
but
they
I mean, they're not bad. They're just kind of mid.
yeah, they're just not as good as Bobbert, which is number 8 on the list, actually.
Hmm.
I haven't even seen much of Bobbert, but they beat Lion Strike, so that gives me hope that they could probably climb up the rankings. But I just
Yeah.
don't know enough about them to put them any higher. Now, number 7, we put Blix, and Blix has some solid roster pieces, like on paper, but they're also like a lot of moving pieces. So they could either go up or down. It really just depends on a few roster changes that are gonna happen in the
I
coming
think
week.
personally, Blix is just terrible.
Well, why?
I feel like you saying Blix is good is a biased opinion.
Okay. Well, all right, all right.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Why? What do you think makes
Their
Blix
their
bad?
only good player is you and Slice. Like
Blix
that's
left
it.
Blix.
Like
Dumbo's
I
pretty
I
good.
I heard I
Dumbo,
heard Frogito's on that team and Frogito is terrible.
that is a correct statement, perhaps. Uh, no, but I feel like Dumbo's pretty good. Like when the
Dumbo's
few maps
okay.
I played with him, he ult tracks, which is pretty nice. I don't hear too many people do that.
Yeah. Are you trying to say something? Are you trying to say something about me?
No,
You
no,
trying to
you ult
attack me?
track once I tell you to.
Yeah.
It's all right. You're working on it. We're getting there.
Rose has
All
got
right.
it. Okay.
Yeah. For number 6, we have Shiva. Honestly, not much to say. I wasn't
I'm
there at the Blitz game, so I don't know if they're good. But they
I
beat
think
Blitz.
I think they're just like a pretty mid team. Like they're not bad, but they just
Yeah.
I feel like they're all around pretty mid. Like there's no one to really watch out for. It's just the whole team is just kind of
Yeah. That's what I
okay.
felt with most of the teams here. Like a
Yeah,
lot are just
like
like
there's
middle of
not
the
really
pack.
like players to look out for. They're all like kind of on the same skill level.
Yeah, because when I watched like some of the replays and stuff from like different games, No
Mhm.
player was like directly the cause of their team winning. It was
Yeah.
just like solid teams and some bad teams. All right. Number 5, we put Codename. Their team's
Yeah.
pretty solid. That's who I wrote. Is that there's not anyone to look out for. Like they're solid, but they just do what they need to.
Yeah.
No
It's the
one's
same
stand
thing
out.
with Shiva. Like they're all pretty on the same skill level.
Yeah. So for 4, we actually put aces, and I wrote up a good amount about this because
Yeah.
I know this team. I'm pretty familiar with them.
My thing about aces is as long as they're not playing Proximus, then you're good. Because Proximus is so shit at the game. Like, who averages 20k per 10 healing on Lucio? Like,
Yeah.
someone needs to coach him how to play Lucio, or he's just going to continue to throw their games. The
I
only
think
good Lucio player on their team is the Door 21.
Door
I
the
love
guy.
that dude.
We love Door here. I think Prox is good at BAP, but BAP's just not that good compared to Ana and Kiriko, who are, in my opinion, better right now.
Yeah.
So I wrote about their supports. I said that they have a pretty solid support line with Door and Zex both being very competent
Yeah.
players.
Zek used to be on the Osaka.
Yeah, Zex is very
Zek
good at
is
flex
pretty
support.
good.
But
Yeah.
the weakness I wrote that their support line has is they're both very passive players. So
Yeah.
like they're
Door
gonna
needs
do
to
their
learn how to
job.
rep it. That's what Door needs to do.
Yeah, Door needs
Door
to
doesn't
feed.
read it enough.
They're gonna do their job and keep like their team alive when they need to,
But
but
they
you're gonna
won't
have
make
to
any
keep
like
them doing risky plays that would set
yeah.
them up better.
They're not gonna
And
make
then
any plays.
for their DPS line, I said that Bumps was pretty solid. He's able
Bumps
to
is
clutch
kind of
up
their
a lot.
carry.
Bumps is able to clutch up a lot and kill 4 during like crucial fights, but
Yeah.
I don't think he's the best soldier right now. I think
No.
his major flaw. Now I think Bumps is a very good player, but I think his biggest flaw right now is just he doesn't get like many picks during the mid fight. Like you don't see him like getting an early pick that like Alexin or Splice would get in a lot of
Yeah.
situations. Like he pops off a lot more. Like you'll see him get 4Ks a lot, but like those early picks are really what like destroys the time bank and
Yeah.
makes Soldiering just so dominant. And then I said also don't sleep on Monkey Boy. He's pretty good at Reaper.
Yeah, he's okay.
Yeah. I feel like their DPS lineup
Who
should
is
be
the
better.
Aces tank?
Uh Stingy. I said that he's kind of mid. He's alright at
Yeah.
Orisa, but that's it.
I say Stingy is like okay. Like he's not
Yeah.
bad. Like, he can compete, but he's just not as good as the Atomics Band 76.
Yeah, he doesn't have much flexibility, like at
Yeah.
all. I only see that two play Orisa. If he had a bigger hero pool, he'd be more like I don't know, like a solid choice. But my issue is like if Orisa gets nerfed, they're gonna be in the market for a new tank. Because
Yeah.
I don't see how they yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do that next. Alright. And then Primal Warriors, honestly, all I have to say for them is Alexin is him.
Oh, true.
Alexin
Wasn't Alexian
Alexin
also
but
in Osaka for a little bit?
he trialed for it, but
Yeah.
it didn't
He
work
just
out.
wasn't as
But
good as Twice.
yeah,
I
sadly.
remember that.
But Alexin does just put Primal on his back, alright? That
True.
dude did so much in the Aces game. There was a bit of a soldier in diff, but I
Yeah.
don't blame them because Alexin is just him. Bro's
Yeah.
nuts. Alright, next on the list, we have the pack. I said that they're all around just like very consistent players. They're very good. And Quirky Orc is definitely like someone to look out for. He's very good at DPS, it seems.
Yeah.
Alright. Do you have anything to say about that team? Otherwise, we'll move on to our unbiased
No,
top three.
it's honestly what I see about that team is it's kind of like all the like a lot of the other teams is they're like obviously Quirky Orc is like good, like cracked,
Mm.
but I feel like the rest of the team is just kind of like the same level, just like we were saying earlier. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like they
Which
all
is
blend
really good
in.
for them.
Yeah. I think what we're trying to say is y'all are all mid and you need to do more so that we could
True.
know people on teams. All right, you guys need to stand out more. All right, start like throwing so that you could pop off. All right,
Yeah,
doesn't
start
matter if you win
standing
the
out like
game.
BiNgUs T3.
Yeah, if you like kill 5 every once in a while, we'll talk about you. All
True.
right, for real. All right, and then Bingus, our unbiased top pick.
I
Yeah,
mean,
you
hey,
know
I mean, you can look at it statistically too. Like we have by far the best sojourn in the league,
yeah.
by far the best tracer in the league. Like our DPS are just miles above the rest. Our support line is just crazy with me and Coolies and Rose. Like it's just unmatched. And then Atomic is pretty good too, I guess.
Yeah, Atomics are right, I guess.
I guess.
I guess. Uh, you may think that just because we're called the Bingus Brain Podcast, we're gonna be biased, but this has no bias
No,
at
I
all.
mean, statistically, I think that we actually do have the best DPS in the league if we have our starters. Like if
Yeah,
we don't,
yeah,
like obviously if we
definitely.
go to a scrim with Boeing Sun and Awesome, we just lose.
We picked up Bowen and Awesome to give the other teams a chance. We had to like
Yeah,
average out our DPS line to make it more mid.
yeah, yeah.
But,
Because
yeah,
our support and tank rolls are just also so much better than the other
yeah,
team, and it's just
our
so
tank line,
unfair.
we have a very solid tank line. I think if Monkey or Ryan becomes meta, then we'll probably be in the best spot. Like
True,
Atomic
because we'll have
really goes
Bacon.
to Monkey, and Bacon's good at the Ryan.
Yeah,
So I think like our support line kind of thrives if meta changes. I mean,
and
Atomic's already Agarissa. He thinks he's better than he is. I'm gonna
I
call him
think
out because he's in
the
my
good thing
call.
about our support line is we have obviously me, and I can play all of the main supports, and then obviously Coolies and Rose can play all the flex supports. So it's like no matter how the meta changes, like we won't suffer like other teams might. You know what I mean?
Truly, we are just better. All right.
Yes.
Let's move on to the next topic because we're now just talking about how good we are. People aren't going.
I mean, we are pretty good.
Yeah, we're just better. Sorry. If you guys clicked on this
Speaking
podcast
of
to hear about your team, it's just about
speaking
us.
of the meta changing, what do you think about what hero should get nerfed or
Yeah.
buffed?
I think we need a desperate Brig meta. I think Lucio's been good too
True.
long. As a Brig fan, I
She
think we
may
need to give Brig stun back. I'll say
dude,
it.
she may have been meta for like 8 years, but that doesn't matter. We need her
Not
back.
enough. Not
Not
enough.
enough. Like
I think
we've had enough of a break. It's time to bring her back. My thing
yeah.
about Brigstun is I was talking to the resident Brig one trick Siren, and we agree that like Brig's whole kit was just based around her stun, and now that she doesn't have it, no matter what how you buff her other abilities, they aren't gonna be able to get any impact like at
It
all.
was just a missing piece. I
Like
fully agree.
if anything, Brig was only a main support because she had her stun, and now she's just a shitty flex support.
I
Like
think it's tough now just because like if you give Brig the stun back, she's gonna be really, really strong, and she's gonna shut down tanks that are already pretty weak. Like Ball and Doomfist are gonna become even worse. But like if you don't
so
give Brig her
another
stun, she's gonna be mid.
another
If
change I think that maybe could be done to Brig, which might make her overpowered, but it will bring her back, is is
800 health.
skills that Inspire does. So that way that Brig can actually walk in and build Inspire, well at least the heals to herself. Because Brig right now, or maybe even her health, like right now, Brig is in a bad spot because she can walk in, but she just dies. She just crumples under heroes like Ramattra and Orisa. Like she just gets absolutely destroyed, and she has no like she has her bash to like get out and go in, but she doesn't have an ability to sustain, and her heals aren't enough to sustain her while she's in. So she needs something there.
I fully agree. It's such a tough hero to balance because she
Mhm.
revolves around like a key trait that they're trying to remove from the
Yeah.
game.
Yes.
Like
With
maybe what if they make it so that Brig Bash gives like a slow effect.
that would be good.
Like kind of how like Soldier's Orb used to do.
Or
Like if maybe
honestly,
it was like a 2 second slow or something, so then you
just
could still like fuck up tracers, but there was counterplay around it.
Just give Brig 250 health. Like, I think if you give her 250 health, she can actually not, like, she won't be hard meta, but she'll be actually playable on, like, brawly maps.
I think the 250 is enough. Just because so many tanks will just fuck her up. So you
Yeah.
have to put her the backline Brig. And
Yeah.
the extra 50 health isn't going to change the fact that you can't stop, like, 2 DPS who dive your Zen from
That
just
is true.
absolutely cheering
Well,
on him.
I mean, but you have to think of it like Brig, without Brig stun, Brig is a flex support. Like, you aren't playing main support anymore, so that's not your job anymore. Your
Yeah,
job
but
is
then
not to
what is your
protect
job?
anymore.
What is your job if it's not to protect on
To
Brig?
heal. To heal
Yeah,
and
but
make space.
why would you go Brig to heal when there's so many better options?
That's
At
my
that
point.
point,
That's my point. That's
at that
why.
point, just give Brig like unlimited packs or some shit.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, Brig needs 30
Or
seconds
like I
back.
said earlier, the more inspire healing.
Yeah. Uh, she's such a hard hero to balance. I
Yeah.
think we just need to nerf Genji, honestly.
True. Genji is just so meta right now.
Yeah, I think S2K has been having it too good for too long. I
Wait,
think Genji just needs
didn't
to have no dash.
wasn't one Tartlong also playing Genji like every map?
You know what's up. They're practicing for the new
uh,
meta. And now, what about hog changes? How do we
I,
balance hog?
I think, you know, maybe it either change breather, like increasing cooldown, less healing, um, or probably the damage output. Just get rid of the one shot. Like,
I
make it
think
kind of like what they did in Sojourn. Like, make it hard to survive, but make it not impossible. You know what I mean? Like, if
I
your
think
if the hog has half a brain cell, like, the hog can one shot you. But if you can, like, get out, like, like, if you get headshot by Sojourn now, like, you're not gonna immediately die. You're gonna have 5 health. So maybe
but
make it headshot with a roadhog.
I think the issue with that though, in general, is like the soldiering nerfs weren't effective. So if we do that with hog, it's probably just could be just as not effective.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
think
hog isn't, like, extremely hard meta right now. He's just okay.
I feel like he's pretty hard meta. I feel like Hog is like so strong. Arissa is just very good too, but I think like they're equal. I think if your team goes Hog or Arissa, you just have such an advantage over almost every other tank. I think they should nerf Hog by making it so Take a Breather has like a 2 second longer cooldown. I think it should reduce your like damage reduction to like 20%. And I think it would be funny if Hog couldn't move while and take a breather like he used to. But that's dumb. So probably not that. But
Yeah.
look, I think add like 2 seconds to the cooldown, and I I don't. It's so hard to change. Like maybe it's like Hog can't move while in the hook pulling animation.
Yeah.
It's such
I,
like a hard change to do.
it's hard to change tanks now because either they're going to be unplayable or hard meta. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Honestly, I
Like,
think the
if,
meta we're
if they
facing.
do, the thing about Overwatch is if they do change, like, in order to, like, actually balance heroes, they need to, like, do a lot of, like, trial and error, like, testing. But the thing about Overwatch is we get, like, one patch a season, so they can't really test it. You know what I mean? Unless they bring back the experimental.
Yeah, production has said it's been confirmed Hog will no longer have one shot, which is interesting. I think
Another thing, another hero that we need to talk about that's dog shit and needs to be removed from the game is Mercy.
for real. All my
Mercy is not
money.
fun to play or play against or play with.
True. Well, unless you're like a soldier in one trick, and the other
Yeah,
team has like
like,
a
the
jump
thing
that.
is, Mercy. I mean, I guess it kind of widens the player base because there's a lot of people that play Mercy. But the thing is, people will just stick to Mercy, and while Mercy is, like, playable, there's only so much you can do on Mercy. So
Yeah.
if you play Mercy, your rank is not real. Either you
True.
got boosted or you got lucky.
As
That's
Lucio
all that it
players,
is.
we have a special hatred for Mercy mains because we can't queue comp without having to play flex support or no backline.
True,
So
exactly. Yes. Like, it's
it
like
makes it brutal.
like it makes me not be able to play my hero. And if if we're having to choose between Mercy or Lucio, if they're at like equal skill level, Lucio is just better every single time, always, no matter what.
You know,
Like,
it
and
probably
think
just
about it. Think about
depends
how much
on
more fun Overwatch would be without Pocket Sojourn or
yeah.
Pocket
Well,
Aura.
Lucio is more fun. In general, honestly, in higher ranks, Mercy probably gets more value just because the lame damage boost. But I think Mercy's movement is what really needs a nerf. Because, like, it's just not fair. Like,
Yeah,
her being able to just send herself into the sky every single second and just, like, slingshot herself back and forth. Like, why did they buff it? It wasn't broken. Don't change it, you know? I feel like they should just revert her old super jump back. And I don't know how they change damage boost. Maybe if they reduce it like a small amount, or maybe they do like a change where it's like Mercy's damage boost affects DPS slightly less or something.
yeah,
So like,
yeah,
it's still effective on tanks, which you don't normally damage boost. But maybe it being like if it's slightly more. All right, let me think. So if it's like a 1.2 multiplier, which I don't know, I could be getting the number wrong. I think it's 1.2. Maybe if
whatever
it's
it
like
is, it's stupid.
yeah, maybe if it's like a 1.15 on DPS and a
Which
1.2 or a 1.25
honestly,
on
I'm gonna be
tanks.
honest. I don't think the damage is the problem. I think it's the sustain that Mercy can do to one hero.
Yeah,
Like the amount of healing that she does. Like I don't know. It's difficult because also her movement abilities and the amount of healing are my problems. Like you said earlier, like she
yeah,
can, like literally, especially on Lucio, like it's hard to freaking go for a Mercy unless you're like in the skybox battling her, and then she just leaves the fight. Like
oh yeah,
like
killing
you
a
like
Mercy on
like it's
Lucio is
just
like a
hard to
lost
play.
cause.
It's hard to play Lucio into a Mercy because your team has to be able to shoot her or the other target.
Yeah,
Like it's like unless they're like Sojourn or whatever gets into a bad position where you can boop her in more, then it's just impossible to play against Mercy.
yeah. I think Mercy just like needs a good amount of changes. I think they should have changed her movement, and I think maybe they could look into this. Could be an awful idea. I don't know how it would play out, but maybe damage boost is 1.15 for DPS and 1.25 for tanks. So maybe there's like reason behind also damage boosting a tank. So it
Yeah,
could be something that's somewhat viable, but not full on pocketing. Like
yeah,
add slightly more skill to the hero that just holds down one button. Right
exactly.
there.
Like obviously the only skill required for Mercy is movement. Like
Mhm.
I can you know I can agree the movement is a difficult thing to learn, but once you do, it's the movement is the same from diamond to GM.
Yeah.
Like
It,
change.
the only like real difference from Diamond GM is just like positioning with the movement. But
Yeah,
like other than that, like there's not much to the hero, if we're being
yeah,
honest. Uh I feel like this may be a good place to end. We kind of
yeah,
discussed a lot of heroes that need changes, and we're kind of running out of time.
yeah.
So I think we're gonna end this episode here. Uh, yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Atomic's bed. All right. Goodbye.
Goodbye.